Furious world leaders continue to abandon Donald Trump in major global order shifting ways. Let's zoom in on Europe right now, where secret discussions have been underway in the event that Donald Trump has the United States leave NATO, which Donald Trump threatens to do every day, for Europe to form something called European NATO. And there have been secret discussions between Germany, between the UK, between France, between the Nordic countries, with Canada being involved in this as well, and Australia and other countries that are currently part of NATO, to create a deterrence against Russia in the event that Donald Trump withdraws from NATO and essentially joins an alliance with Russia, North Korea, and perhaps China. Europe is taking this very seriously. They've been having a lot of meetings about this, and the president of Finland, Alexander Stubb, conveyed this to Donald Trump as well. When Donald Trump continued to threaten NATO, Stubb reached out and said, "We want to let you know that Europe is planning on taking defense in our own hands, so you can keep on threatening us, Donald, but this ain't going to be business as usual." Now, late last night, Donald Trump was ranting and raving like a lunatic about leaving NATO once again. But at this point, European countries that are a part of NATO, by the way, as well as Canada, as well as Australia, as well as other nations as well, are saying, let's form our own NATO. We can call it European NATO. We can call it New NATO, but the U.S. won't be in this at all. Here's what Donald Trump posted last night. He said, NATO wasn't there for us, and they won't be there for us in the future. Donald J. Trump. By the way, he was also attacking Pope Leo XIV again, just ranting and raving like a lunatic last night. Will someone please tell Pope Leo that Iran has killed at least 42,000 innocent, completely unarmed protesters in the last 2 months, and that for Iran to have a nuclear bomb is absolutely unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter. America is back. Donald J. Trump, America is back. And I want to talk about in a little bit as well what's going on in the Middle East. I mentioned this yesterday too, how you have the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi in China right now meeting with Xi Jinping in Beijing. At the same time, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez of Spain also in Beijing meeting with Xi Jinping. China being viewed as a stabilizing force, as the emerging or the actual superpower in the world, as Donald Trump has turned the United States into this erratic menace, rogue, criminal regime country. And it's embarrassing to say that as an American, but this ain't America back. This is America alone and America very weak. But within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I'll play this for you in a moment as well. One of their top leaders there just yesterday, for the first time, you saw this use diplomatic language, but it was a strong pivot away from the United States. And it was clear that they're saying, we're really focused on building our relationships elsewhere with China or wherever suits our interests, not we value the security umbrella that the United States provides, which was once the official foreign policy position of Saudi Arabia. Also, again, I've been talking about this in a lot of reports. Ukraine, President Zelensky, with all of their knowledge on drone warfare, drone interceptors, these first-person drones, these unmanned vessel drones, the drone jammers, how to stop the Shaheeds, major security agreements being made by Ukraine with Arab nations. And also, you had Zelensky yesterday meeting with Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz to come up with a strategic security alliance. Germany elevating its relationship with Ukraine to strategic alliance partner. And they did a deal. And it's fascinating, right? Because for a long time, and still today, you have Europe, and under the Biden administration, the United States, giving lots of aid to Ukraine. But now that investment has paid off. I mean, obviously for Donald Trump, he's so much of a Putin bootlicker and a sycophant to realize that Biden's investment paid off, both in terms of strengthening NATO, which Donald Trump wants to destroy right now, right? Biden added 2 countries to NATO, but also by investing in Ukraine, Ukraine developed the critical military technology that's needed now, which Donald Trump wants to say, I don't want to look at that. The same way Donald Trump doesn't want to look at energy innovation because Donald Trump hates windmills and other things that would actually help, but he just loves that coal. He wants that coal. But Ukraine has all of this incredible weapons that they're now providing to the Arab nations, to Europe, and elsewhere. And that's something to be focused on. Also, I really want to dig in here with you and go over point by point what you're probably not seeing anywhere in the corporate news. And it's so important that we delve into it. By the way, make sure you hit subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. We are on our way to 7 million subscribers. Can we hit 7 million subscribers together? Let's try to hit it because it's so important to get out the truth right now. So here was the article from the Wall Street Journal. Europe is, in case you're like, Ben, I appreciate it. You got any other sourcing for this other than MeidasTouch? Well, let's look at what Wall Street Journal said. Europe is accelerating. I don't know what impression that was. Europe is accelerating a NATO fallback plan in case Trump pulls out. The continent is drawing up a contingency for greater European involvement as tensions rise over the Iran war. And you take a look at this article, and we'll just go over it briefly together. Europe is accelerating this NATO fallback plan, a fallback plan to ensure Europe can defend itself using NATO's existing military structures if the U.S. departs is gaining traction after getting a buy-in from Germany, a long-term opponent of a go-it-alone approach, because it's really not a go-it-alone approach anymore. All of Europe is basically committed to this, and other NATO nations other than the United States. And what it says is that these European nations and Canada and others are working up a plan which they're referring to as European NATO, but it has other names as well, which is a non-US version of NATO to act as a deterrent to Russia. The article goes on to talk about Finland's President Stubb having this phone call with Donald Trump as Donald Trump said, I'm going to withdraw from NATO. And Stubb's like, do it. Do it. We'll call your bluff. If you want to do it, we have our own organization that we're building and go ahead and do it. So Donald Trump, who calls NATO a paper tiger because Trump says he and Putin talk about NATO as a paper tiger, NATO has made the plan to cut Donald Trump out of it. And they're calling his bluff. Do it. Do it.
Put away the heavy layers. It's time for breathable, durable clothes that move with you and keep up with anything you put on your spring calendar. Mack Weldon has upgraded closet staples like stretch twill chinos that go with everything and button-ups that keep you looking sharp from morning coffee to dinner dates. Discover upgraded basics, fresh styles, and more at MackWeldon.com. Plus, get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with code MIDAS. The Ace Collection by Mack Weldon is perfect for staying comfy and looking good. The fit is super comfortable and a confidence boost, knowing that you look good without even trying. Mack Weldon is my go-to. Add comfort and flair to your closet this year. Mack Weldon balances classic pieces with updated details to keep you looking sharp. Not flashy, just classic, always in style, and made from the world's most comfortable performance materials. Easy to style and versatile looks that you don't have to think about. Mack Weldon is effortless by design. With the Ace line, ease and self-assurance have never been more comfortable. They are crazy comfortable, but elevated sweatpants, shorts, sweatshirts, and even blazers. If you're lucky enough to grab one while they're still in stock. All new relaxed sweatpants, carpenter sweatpants, and classic sweatpants are available in 5 new colors. Mack Weldon is the go-to choice for guys who want to look good without even trying. Mack Weldon clothes are designed to fit your style and demands of modern life. Get moving with Mack Weldon. Comfortable anywhere. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code MIDAS. That's MackWeldon.com, code MIDAS.
So what's Donald Trump doing? He lashes out at the UK. Right earlier yesterday, he was making more posts and saying, why doesn't the UK get more oil. They need to drill, baby, drill. Yesterday, he attacked Giorgia Meloni, the prime minister of Italy. She doesn't have the courage. She shouldn't lecture me on what I can say to Pope Leo XIV. If I want to attack Pope Leo XIV, I'm going to attack Pope Leo XIV. Donald Trump attacking Pope Leo XIV. I mean, he's just, and then the post I shared with you last night, where he's like, NATO's never going to be there for us. They'll never be there for us. Pathetic behavior right there. As noted, Zelensky was in Germany. You had Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez in Beijing. You had the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi in Beijing. And now I want to share with you, though, what was being said by one of the top leaders in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, because to me, this is fairly unprecedented what he says right over here. So I want to play this clip so you can hear it for yourself, and you'll see that they're basically saying the translation, the coded of their top, defense minister, foreign policy minister, is like, we're looking elsewhere. We're exploring, broader relationships right now. That's in our self-interest. Here's what he has to say. Let's play this clip right here.
I mean, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and as far as I know, all Arab nations do not formulate their policies based on the interests of others. They establish their policies solely based on their own national interests, and we will continue to pursue our interests, and we will persist in shaping our policies based on those very interests, irrespective of any other viewpoints. And we will, at the same time, remain open to engaging in dialogue with all our partners, both in the West and in the East. This is to ensure that there is a complete and thorough understanding of our actions and initiatives. Furthermore, we aim to foster a collective pursuit towards realizing these mutually beneficial outcomes for everyone involved. Shared benefits are not exclusive to our relationship with China, but also extend to our ties with America and other nations. We are constantly pursuing our own interests, and these interests can be found both in the West and in the East. Wherever we discover them, we will endeavor to realize them.
And I think it's also notable that Hungary's new Prime Minister, Peter Magyar, here's what he had to say. Peter Magyar said Hungary will not reach out to Donald Trump first. Hungary's new Prime Minister, Magyar, stated he's not going to proactively call Donald Trump, but he said, look, if Donald Trump reaches out to us in Hungary, we will be happy to take his phone call and we will behave professionally, of course, but we are not going to rush and take his phone call. Rather, we're not going to rush and make the phone call to him. And frankly, that's how you have to treat Donald Trump. You have to treat him like, you have to stand up, because look what he did also last night. He called Jonathan Karl, one of his favorite reporters at ABC, and here's what he said to ABC's Jonathan Karl. In a conversation earlier today, Donald Trump told me he was not concerned about Viktor Orban's loss in Hungary and that he likes Magyar. I think the new man's going to do a good job. He's a good man. By the way, Donald Trump just probably thinks he's handsome, because that's how Donald Trump thinks. Good-looking guy, very strong, very muscular, right out of Central Casting. Like, that's what's in Donald Trump's head, that the guy's really good-looking and Trump's like attracted to him. And I'm not saying that to be facetious. That's how Donald Trump actually thinks. He finds people attractive, and that's one of the reasons he likes Alexander Stubb of Finland, and that's why they had Stubb deliver the message, because Trump finds him to be a physically attractive specimen. That's Trump's mindset. I just want to let you know, I'm not making this up. That's how Trump thinks. And he goes on to say, Trump said he didn't know if it would have made a difference if he had gone to Hungary instead of Vance to campaign for Orban. He was behind substantially, Trump said. I wasn't that involved in this one. Viktor's a good man, though. He noted that the incoming prime minister was formerly a member of Orban's party and has similar views on immigration. I think he's going to be good. You think he's going to be good? Because you and your regime said it was an existential threat to the world if this guy got into power. And now you say you think he's going to be good? And again, that's why Magyar realizes the psychology is you have to just stand up to Trump, and you can't you can't ever say, oh, I got to call him. You can't be a Trump sycophant because that's how he responds. So we'll keep you posted every step of the way of everything that's going on right now. We'll follow also Donald Trump's threats to Cuba. As DropSite explains, the Trump regime has quietly directed Pentagon officials and other U.S. government agencies to step up preparations for a possible military operation against Cuba. In Donald Trump's mind, the war in Iran is over, and that the next stop, this is how he thinks about it, is Cuba. Next stop, Cuba. We're going to do it. Remember when he was with DoorDash lady and he said, next stop, Cuba? Just to remind you, here's what he said with DoorDash, like the whole phony DoorDash thing. But here's what he said. Play this clip.
President, one on Cuba, sir. You previously said that you had no problem with countries sending fuel to Cuba after previously promising to tariff them. What happened? What changed?
Well, we're going to see with Cuba. Cuba's another story. Cuba's been a terribly run country for a long time. It's got a bad system. It's been very oppressive, as you know. And we have a lot of great Cuban Americans, all of whom just about voted for me. And they were treated very badly. In many cases, family members have been killed. They've been beaten up and mugged, and terrible things happened in Cuba. And Cuba's a failing nation. And we're going to do this, and we may stop by Cuba after we're finished with this. But Cuba is a nation that was just been horribly run for many years by Castro.
And so now we got to focus on that. I mean, this guy's just going around like the Pied Piper of ruining America's standing in the world. And now Cuba's next. But we'll keep you posted every step of the way on the MeidasTouch Network, as we always do. Hit subscribe. Help us get to 7 million subscribers. We appreciate you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.